to really be so dominant as they were against SK Gaming. Bans coming through already. You can see Maokai, Orianna, and Rengar and Lee Sin. So Lee Sin being taken away this time. They do not want to have Moscow 5 having it. It is the first pick, of course, for Moscow 5 this game.
And I wonder how much Moscow 5 actually values Xin Zhao, because it does seem like they struggled without it, and it was very good at splitting team comps, and it seemed like if Diamond's comfortable, Moscow 5 is one of those teams that kind of revolves around their jungler, so he is what enables everyone else to tick. And if he doesn't have what he's comfortable on, they won't be able to get it. And if SK doesn't ban it here, then they,
Or Zilean. I mean, they kind of went for Zilean to start with last time, so, I mean, what would Moscow 5's preference be? That's the question. I'm still never convinced by Zilean. It does offer you that res, like that extras, like a six-man V5 type fight. Do they value it high enough? Will they go with Jax? It is going to be Zilean.
Number one priority there for them.
Alex has the say over the team. Oh, wow. Reading into these.
Either one, like, it's so curious, but I almost wonder if Ocelot would have even picked Zilean. Like, if they could have just picked it safely. Like, if they really wanted Xin, they probably could have just taken Xin. Or they just don't think SK is going to pick either one of them, because there's a really good chance that SK doesn't want either of those picks.
So they obviously felt that maybe Gosu Pepper Crescendo, it did cause quite a lot of those problems.
Especially at the Baron, in all honesty, when they were trying to find line Baron, and then Gosu Pepper and Genja came in. The flash Crescendo was unreal in that team fight, and really is what enabled all of it. So this is again, teams that have disrupted Moscow 5 seem to do well against them, and they're trying to disrupt Moscow 5 right now.
Does RNA feel strong enough? Now that would be very much a "we are going to kill you" comp.
Yeah, that would be saying it.
That's pretty much what would be happening right there. Are we going to see Nocturne get locked in? Gosu Pepper, of course, on Blitzcrank. Something we haven't seen that often, but he has played it a few times in tournaments before. But it's not unusual. It's, Blitzcrank was one of those champions that actually progressed through Season 2 finals. Basically got banned
out the whole time.
After suddenly it played about, I think, the first 2 or 3 games, everyone went, yeah, we're not playing that anymore. Because if you do land that hook, you ban it.
There it is. Nocturne, Blitzcrank. That's, I guess, the second fallback for Diamonds after Lee Sin and Xin Zhao. Third fallback
That's
was
the
his.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, and then, Blitzcrank would be that aggressive kill lane. They really need the off the win. There's been a problem this tournament, by the way. This whole late game stall that we've gotten addicted to thinking about because of all these late game team comps that have been coming out. But this tournament, it has not been about that whatsoever.
Yeah, we haven't really seen many games go past 40 minutes. As it stands, looks like Kevin is going to have his choice. Arana has been on Trundle for a long time, but I don't think he's going to go with it. Katarina is a possibility. Was banned in the last game. There it is. Ocelot's going to get Katarina, and it's going to be Ezreal, Sona as well. These are actually strong comp from SK Gaming here.
It's looking like that. Just the combination of Xin Zhao's AoE with Crescendo, with the Katarina, they're really going to have to bring that together with a solid top laner or jungler, depending on where they want that to go. But it's a little risky picking Katarina into a Zilean just because she's so much about committing herself to get that kill, getting the reset, and then chaining. And if you don't get that first kill, a lot of it can just end up backfiring on you. So, especially on a team like SK who tilts a bit, that's a dangerous pick.
And the Arcane Shift on Ezreal is kind of a counter to Blitzcrank straight away.
It is.
Because you can get out of those hooks.
You time it at the right moment. You wait until the hook is about to land, and you let it hit, and then during the cast time it hits, and you'll cancel it as you go through. But, I mean, we've seen this. You can say Ezreal's a counter pick to Blitz, and it is in lane, but in the grander scheme of the game, Blitzcrank is still Blitzcrank, and he can still pull and win fights for you.
You can still pull that one fight, that one thing, or if you pull McNoon, it's a problem. It backfires on you. But it is going to be the Zilean Jax combo. So this is something we've seen Moscow 5 running before. So like we mentioned before, they're playing with stuff that they're confident with, they're comfortable with. Nocturne we've seen actually, Watch played absolutely brilliant on Nocturne during the MLG Championships, MLG in Dallas just last weekend. It's a jungler that works if the rest of the team are willing to dive with it.
And they have Darien with the Zilean Revive, so this is their Zilean Jax. I mean, they've done their Zilean Olaf. They're fallen. It's something that they've been able to win with. They're really the only team that runs Zilean successfully, if I can actually think back and remember. I haven't seen many other teams be able to do this. And I wonder how SK is going to close this out, because they want something up against Jax, and we haven't really seen someone do that successfully yet this tournament. Jax seems to be running over a lot of these games. These teams aren't the best at dealing with it.
And you've also got the counter strike and the power fist to interrupt Katarina.
Oh, that would be good.
That would be very good. And it is going to be locked in.
I don't know. I have not seen Kevin playing that before. But if he plays it well, that is a great pick against Jax. The range to harass. Kale's one of the strongest top laners in the game. I do not like. You can see why Kale doesn't see as much play because she doesn't fit the mold of having kind of a bruisery top lane or a double AP. You're throwing a second AD carry on your team, which puts a large stress on your comp because you look at them, and they don't have a tank line anymore on SK. They just have Xin, who gets to go in, and they really have to create everything kind of perfectly to run a comp with Kale once team fights start. But if they get out of laning phase strongly, we're good. I wonder if we should check Diamond's runes.
Yeah, I think that may be what we're going to go with. But you know, Kale's something that Dyrus has run for a long time,
and they went away from it.
Karthus, and they stopped playing it. Don't know why.
I don't know why either, in all honesty. So, Darkness for his rune page, 6.8 AD from his quintessences, 15 attack speed. That procs Nocturne's passive more and more, 13 armor, and then he loves that split of MR and MR at 18. So let's check his masteries for Nocturne. Whether that's going to be 921 or 21.9. It is 921, so a more defensive Nocturne. Same masteries we've really seen him on other champions, and I want to check the supports because that's the most unique rune pages we've seen really throughout this tournament. Let's look at what Ghostly Pepper does. He did the aggressive support earlier with health quints. Does he do something similar on Blitz? Move speed, which is actually, I think that's what Mad Life does on Blitzcrank as well. So much about just getting in range for your power fist, and your hook becomes so much more dangerous when you can also just run up to someone and punch them. It just makes it so much threat, AD, MR, and armor as well. So his masteries, 1, 15, 14. Those are the more standard support masteries. I think that's got to be the most common support page, in all honesty. Getting the gold, getting the move speed, and then getting that one mastery point to enhance your exhaust or ignite. So Ghostly Pepper with those. No GP10 aside from his masteries. Let's take a look at SK Nif on Sona. See if he's done anything unique here. Runes, of course. Health. So got to be really, really cautious against a Blitzcrank lane with the health. But at the same time, he's foregone his armor yellows for gold per 10. Really making sure to get that. Put some armor on his red, so not quite as efficient. And then MR and blues as well. Let's check his masteries, see if he's done anything. Might have went 21 utility. Nope, 16, 14. So defensive, a little bit of health regen, making sure to get that GP10. So really just dual specking that defense and utility tree. Very common for supports there.
We're just looking towards Kevin maybe as well. Let's see what Kevin's doing on that top lane.
So Kevin on Kale, of course, doing the 16 AD, 13 armor, and 11 magic resist. And his masteries, of course, are 21.9. So full-on AD carry for Kevin. Not the Candy Panda AD carry, though, because he doesn't have 1911 in his masteries. Still pretty strong there. What else should we check? Ocelot. We got to check Ocelot because he's done either defensive rune pages. I'm guessing he's doing the MR on this one for his blues. And no, he's went straight up AP on Katarina. Same as his Nidalee page. Very aggressive, dangerous Katarina. And 21.9. So slightly defensive on his masteries, but not really at all. Only doing that because you don't need mana on Katarina. So all-out aggression from him against Zilean, which will be very dangerous once the double bombs start coming in from Alex.
Going the Will Smith 0-0 Masteries. Which is
that what they're called?
Yeah, that's what he called it, the page. So obviously a big fan of Will Smith. So if you are watching, ladies and gentlemen, then please remember to tell your friends to tune in and watch. This is Moscow 5 versus SK Gaming. After all, it's not something you see every day in an offline tournament here in the Casino de Paris. And if you are watching it on, obviously it's on twitch.tv. And it's ogaming_international, I believe, is the exact URL. Or tailsofthelane.com. Get on there and... I don't know whether it's English or French on the tailsofthelane.com website. I guess it...
I think it autoplays English, but if you want to find French, you can just go to Twitch TV and get that link as well.
Yep. So there's obviously two streams. We've got Chips and Noir. Actually, I tell a lie. It's SkyArt and Chips right now by the looks of it. Yeah, so SkyArt and Chips, there they are on your screen. So SkyArt, you may recognize him from Cypher before. He used to play certainly at the Intel Extreme Masters New York. I believe he was at Kiev as well for the Intel Extreme Masters. There's SK Gaming on the left-hand side as the red team, Moscow 5 as the blue team on the right. And there is their beautiful emblems in front of them. So and the teams have actually kind of requesting that they can keep those. I don't know whether, I've not heard whether they can yet or not. But they certainly want to keep them, so they're loving it. So You may see those emblems actually appearing in tournaments from now on. Maybe they're going to take them with them, I guess.
They are really awesome.
They are.
Fair. Like, this just seeing the team logos
They're so
just come
simple,
out in
yeah,
that.
they're good.
Yeah.
Because
exactly.
nobody really does that.
You know exactly what it communicates, and it's so minimalist in a sense that it works quite well.
So here we are, ladies and gentlemen. It is Moscow 5 as the blue team on your screen right now. 1-0 up against SKE Gaming. Starting to get their power back on, and they kind of have a team comp that they really seem to agree with. It's that Zilean. See, Curse seemed to be onto something. You know, I've always said with Moscow 5, the way to beat Moscow 5 is to be aggressive against them. Curse have that sussed out. They've just never really managed to make it work. And for the first time, I believe, they've managed to make it work. They may get a hook here. If we can pan the screen just up a little bit, you can see the Kale is just there. If he edges down... Oh, Nif. Oh, Nif. Oh, Nif. Oh! Flashed out of the hook straight away. And the reaction time now is just like, oh, crap, I'm in trouble.
It's strange because he must not have had vision around the corner, because I feel like Ghosty Pepper could have blind hooked him, and here it comes.
He's not going to have the hook back.
Didn't have the hook up for another 5 seconds. You can see the cooldown in the bottom left there. So
showed themselves a little early, and actually, I think they're going to go for a counter invade here. I'm seeing Aranea down the bottom. Is he going to think of going for red? You can see he's just pivoting on the bottom lane. Meanwhile, SK are going to go around the long way down towards this bottom lane.
And look at the caution there. They're hugging the sidewall because they know, especially now that Nif has no flash, that blitz hook would be absolute death.
So Darian going to top lane. You can see he's backing off. So it's going to be a standard bottom lane for Moscow 5. We do see the counter
SK is invading. Yeah, so Aranea going in there. Want to pan down bottom. I think the whole crew is there aside from Kale. And M5 didn't actually back off, so they're probably going to trade blue for red here. And then it's going to be very interesting to see what the lanes actually hash up. No, actually we'll see it fairly simple. Darian going to be up top lane against Kevin. And they're trading blue buff for red. So doesn't look like a fight. We might see some kind of collision as SK and Moscow 5 work towards the bottom lane, but they get seen by that ward. So
here we go. It's going to be really interesting. Gosu Pepper's going to bump into him. There they go. Gosu Pepper comes down straight into the bush. Gosu Pepper's in trouble. He's not going to be able to get out of this one. He flashes through.
Got mana shield.
He's got a mana shield. Oh, he nearly landed the hook straight away. Now Alex is in trouble. They're going to turn the damage on towards him, but immediately Genja responds and puts a lot of damage down on Candy Panda. He can't avoid through the bush there because obviously the eyes that you get on from the
Phosphorus bomb.
Phosphorus bomb will show you going through that bush. That's the exact word I was after. Meanwhile, go to the mid, please. You can see Ocelot getting curled on. Diamond Prox putting the damage down on Ocelot. Very aggressive start from both teams, but everybody levels out. No advantage gained. Blue and red exchanged. Everybody returns to lane.
That was the collision that we thought was going to happen when they did make it. And what ended up happening is a couple flashes were burned. Exhaust got burned on Nif. Overall, they really just traded one summoner spell for another. And now we can see this bottom lane really starting to hash itself out. You got to say Candy Pen and Nif get a bit of an edge because Ghosty Pepper was sent back to shop, but they didn't really take anything off that. So it looks like fair trade, restart at level 2 almost for that lane, and game on.
Also, Aranea actually used his smite. Junglers are meeting actually. The junglers are fighting back and forth. You can see Alex Hitch is coming around there. Diamond Prox caught out a little bit, but if Alex Hitch gets and joins this fight, he might be able to get a bit of damage down. Ocelot didn't join him. He's actually brought the siege minion with him, so he's going to put a bit of damage. Aranea doesn't have smite right now. Hasn't taken his red, so he used it on that blue steel.
And Ocelot sitting on 2 minion kills, getting caught out by Nocturne early really kind of set him back. And these junglers are brawling back and forth. Here they come.
So Aranea coming around to Diamond Prox. Diamond Prox backing away with that blue buff of his own. He doesn't want to let his own one go. And now you can see Alex Hitch is starting to come across here. They've also got Kale coming down. Jax is now heading down here. The blue is reset. Could they collapse on him? Alex Hitch, what level is he taking? Has he got the slowdown? It might be enough. The flash was burned. Darian isn't going to get the stun on him. And they will all return to lane once again.
So much roaming early on in this game for no benefit, really. It's been a bunch of engages, and then people kind of end up flashing away. RNA and Diamonds both really wasting a bit of their time. You can see the junglers are putting themselves behind, fighting with each other so much. They're both out of health potions. They're both under 10 minion kills. And finally, it seems like they're picking up their buff. So Diamond Prox was able to get his blue buff. Looks like RNA is able to get his red buff now that he's smited it. But with this is dead even close early on.
Well, the problem is actually that he's got both blue buffs and he's got both red buffs.
That's true, actually.
Yeah.
So both junglers are a little bit still. I don't have the.
I mean, what would you be happier with, a double red or a double blue?
In all honesty, in this match, with how many summoner spells have been burned already, I would be happier with double red. But I think what's going to end up happening, since they've already kind of expended themselves ganking, is the double blue is going to be better. Because blue is better for farming the jungle than red buff, and Diamondprox might pull himself a little bit ahead because of it.
So we'll see whether that is the case. And as Diamondprox goes back to bite, has to get himself a chunk of those health pots. Actually didn't get any health pots, just went straight Berserker Greaves. Wants to get aggressive.
Nocturne heals up a huge amount from his passive, and the Berserker Greaves is a pretty good first buy. It's something we're seeing a lot more of on these Nocturne players. So he's going to look to hit level 6 almost as fast as he can here. Might try for some pre-6 ganks, but I actually kind of doubt it. RNA, got to be careful for Darien. Wow.
He goes straight aggressive, actually turned into Darien, puts it down, immediate flash, Darien just pops him where he stands. That was a mistake there, I feel. You know, he went aggressive, used the Crescent Strike, really thought he was going to knock him away, but Kevin was not reacting quick enough, and I don't think he was quite expecting the Empowered Strike to do that much that quick.
I think that was also one of those cases where you realize you're 2v1, so you get kind of fake strength in a sense, and he didn't realize he was below half health at the start of that fight, and the Darien had Flash and Ignite up. Terrible lapse of judgment there, and a great job of Darien capitalizing on that play.
Genji being forced back a little bit there. We just saw one of the hooks from GoSuPepper not quite landing. Those hooks can be quite important. As it is, we have seen already Candy Panda return to lane, so you can see he's actually behind in the CS. That's mainly for the fact he's been back to buy, picked up that Doran's Blade, double Doran's Blade picked up by Genja, so slight advantage there as GoSuPepper takes up away, and they're going to go on towards Darien. RNA is going to go down again here. That second bomb's going to be going. It's going to be enough. The bomb will finish him off. It's going to be a kill for Moscow 5 once again. Alex H picks this one up with the assist, and immediately the snowball could start.
This could be really bad for them. Having 0-2 on your jungle, and this is what's happened to SK in both of the games that they lose. Once RNA falls behind, the laners aren't that good at winning on their own in a sense, and RNA needs to be able to babysit those lanes and help them out. Once he's started 0-2, that double red buff, only having the Doran's Blade, it's going to be so hard. All the other lanes look to struggle off this.
Full dive coming down the bottom here. Diamondprox is there. Alexic is there as well. He's going to get the Fear Leash on towards Nif. Oh, but it turns him towards the turret. It can be so random. Sometimes it can turn you against him, but this time it saved him. And Ocelot tried to take advantage and get the race. Didn't really feel confident enough, though. And
SK does seem to be playing a little bit scared. Can't really blame them when all their aggression ends up getting turned around on them, but Darien, even supposed to be the matchup, he picked up that red buff off of RNA, and he's been able to turn that back onto Kayle. I mean, I said that the Kayle was a great pick against the Jax, but then I remember there's a Kayle-only player, actually, right? Someone who's just very good at Kayle. And he actually says Jax is one of the weaker matchups. Anyone who can actually get on top of Kayle and trade damage well is a good matchup against him. So even though Kevin picked it last, it may not have been a very smart pick against Darien's Jax.
And just how confident was Darien there? Just to go pick up the red buff. Oh, he's just going to smack Kevin in the face. He's going to force the flash. Leap strikes back on it. Counter strikes down. He might be enough. He has not got his ultimate available. So he did have his ulti.
He was out of mana.
Oh, he didn't have the mana, of course. Wow, and I was just about to say, Darien was so confident in the fact that he got the red buff and just came strolling back past. It's like, hey, got your red, see ya.
Oh, Ocelot trying to get damage on Alex, but really just wasting his ultimate, and he pops a health potion. And now that RNA can't really support his lanes, that Kevin has essentially lost the lane to Jax already. And then you look bottom, and the Corki Blitzcrank versus Nif and Candy Panda. And here's the gank on Ocelot.
And that's Ocelot a dead man.
They got him.
No way he's going to get away from that one. The bomb's enough. It finishes him off. Alex H picks up the kill. And the crowd goes wild. We did talk about the fact that Moscow 5 are actually supported by the French crowd. The irony is they didn't make it to the finals. The first time they've really been supported, I think it's safe to say.
Even then, we got over 100,000 viewers for the third place game on Chelsea Lane. And people, this is a match people wanted to see.
It is,
in all honesty. Yeah. So it's a third place game, but these are two very well-known teams, and they are going to battle it out against each other. So Moscow 5 still has a chance for Bitter Redemption, as does SK. And you bet it's almost more important for these teams not to finish last, I feel, than to finish third. And that might be what they're playing for here.
Now, in terms of these hooks, you've got to assume it's Nif he's going to be plumbing to get. But I haven't really seen the hooks landed yet from GoSuPepper. I mean, it's often called, and he did go for Candy Panda again. Why would you go for Candy Panda when he can Arcane Shift out of it? When Sona generally is just such a plumb target to grab.
In all honesty, I'm not sure. I think Candy Panda is making himself presentable, and GoSuPepper's just going for it. It could just be the damage. He's maxing his rocket grabs, so he is getting fairly good poke. But Nif's going to sustain a lot of that back up, being Sona, so it's not really winning them the lane, but even then, they're up in the lane, 73-62, so it's not really broken, and they're winning every other lane. Should still probably try to pull in Nif, though.
Yeah, that top lane seems like it's in trouble to me. Despite the fact the farm looks close, I feel that Darian definitely has the advantage over him. Alexic dodging out the way of Ocelot's ultimate there, trying to put the damage down on him, but just doesn't seem to have enough to trade right now. And here comes Ocelot in trouble once again because the Wraiths are being invaded just to the side of him. You can see Diamond Prox in there taking the Wraiths, and this is Diamond Prox. This is the Diamond Prox we expect to see. In the base, taking everything away, taking anything from the jungle. Darian the same, he just comes around taking the red. So often he did that back in the early days of Kiev, etc. with Shyvana. And there we go, he's going to come around.
Actually, trying to trade this a bit.
He's going to walk straight into each other. They're going to trade.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you can see Diamond Prox was not expecting that one. Has to use his spell shield, or whatever the heck the thing's called for Nocturne. It's not spell shield, it's the same damn thing though.
It's the W.
It's the W. Is that what you're going to call it? You're going to check. He always makes himself look smart.
The
but
Shroud of Darkness.
He goes and checks. Shroud of Darkness. Of course, that's what it's called. Ocelot catching on towards Alexic there, but they're slowing the bomb. Is it enough? They're going to dive in. They're going to finish him off. Ocelot is going to go down. It's Alexic once again. Ocelot is in all sorts of trouble in that bottom lane. Genji now continuing to put the big bombs on Candy Panda as well. And as it stands, Moscow 5 starting to get very dominant here. They're slowing the bombs on towards Aranea again. It's going to take him down to about half health. He can't stand and trade with this one. Moscow 5 continuing to put pressure on that mid turret.
And this is just seemingly going to be a too difficult recovery for SK because without
he might finish it.
Wow, he's just going straight in. He's going to...
He's used his ultimate and gets the bomb and then just uses his ultimate, comes back to life. Very, very clever play from Alexic there. I guess every Zilean player would just be like, well, that's normal.
I mean, but this is also why Curse didn't allow Moscow 5 to get Zilean because they're so comfortable playing this style. Alex just diving into turrets. They're roaming extremely well. They're staying in fights where the other team's judgment wouldn't quite be there. I mean, way back in Season 1 at the start of Season 2, with no changes to Zilean, Zilean was permabanned on NA servers. Yeah. And then people kind of learned to play against it, and there's certain things that you kind of do. Just the way you fight against Zilean is so much different than the way you fight against a normal team. Low health targets suddenly aren't something you dive in for. Kills just don't seem to come where they should. And unless you're very used to playing against Zilean, it catches you off guard. And since we haven't seen it really widespread availability
the
lately,
last time I remember it is Salsa at Gamescom 2011.
SK doesn't know how to play against it, it seems.
Well, I don't think they knew how to play against it back then either.
Yeah.
It didn't work out so well for them. Ocelot's in trouble, though, and again, it's going to be Diamond Prox diving on him. Is the damage there enough, though? Aranea comes around, has to use his ultimate to bat them away from Ocelot there. But Alexic is going to continue chasing. He uses his speed buff. Instead, he's going to put the damage down on Aranea now. He's in trouble because he's got the double
They're doing the
buff here.
dragon while they're doing this.
They are doing the dragon. Let's have a look down towards Ghosting Pepper coming around. Candy Panda and Nif tried to come around, trying to force something, but Moscow 5 too strong right now, 6-0. And 12 minutes 43 into this game. The dragon goes down and the gold advantage stretches once again to 5,000 gold. Candy Panda has to arcane shift away from this one. Ghosting Pepper looking greedy and maybe trying to pick something out of it. Blue buff taken away. While this is all happening, nearly got the True Shot Barrage across.
Just about. Yeah, they're trying to split push the top lane. Alex is just in between the inner turrets. And this is a matter of, we talked about the SK Gaming tilt in a lot of ways. They're so emotional that they're not the best at coming back when they get the slightest bit down. First of all, there's a jump between the finals and the third place game where they have kind of time to recover, but the really short instance of time in between games, they really just seem to be completely on tilt at this point. No one really seems to be communicating together. If we had the kind of the player cams, I'd almost imagine not many of them would be talking with each other because this is a moment where you don't really have any ideas on what to do. It's like, you want help in your lanes, but your jungler is more far behind than anyone else, so going into lanes is most likely just going to feed more kills. It's about trying to find opportunity, but it's just not there.
You know, more often than not, I see with these teams that every time Nocturne does get picked, he actually does pretty well. I'd love to see the stats on him, certainly from MLG, and maybe from a few teams lately that have been maybe on a lease patch or something like that. Whenever he gets picked, the kills tend to follow up. It's obviously never the same from solo queue because the team is there to follow you through. That's going to be the power fist on towards Nif. Oh, wow, a big whiff on the Katarina ultimate there. Katarina trying to get onto it. Ocelot trying to get the kill. He does manage to get the one down. True Shot Barrage missing across Ghosting Pepper. They're going to turn this bomb back around, trying to flash out of the damage, but Diamond Prox going to be very aggressive. Has got the wriggles, but is not going to finish it off.
He wants to
here comes Alexic coming around the back. Nif is in trouble. Nif is dead. Nif is dead. Forget about Nif. It's Ocelot now is going to be the target. There's the exhaust going down. Puts the Zilean ultimate. He's happy to tank up the turret, take the damage. Ocelot's got to be careful. He's going to come back up. He could put 2 bombs down. Instead, he just speeds himself up and gets out of there. Genja immediately putting more damage down, but Aranea joins the party. Now Genja's in trouble. He's going to dive on towards him, just Valkyries away. And they are still going for Genja. Alex Ich now, good turnaround, puts the bomb down. Is it going to be enough? No, the Ocelot goes back in, the exhaust goes down, but he's on the turret!
Oh!
And Genja picks up the kill. Oh, the mystic shot from Candy Panda finishes off Alex Ich. They do get something out of it, but it's not a lot. It's 8-2.
A long extended 4v4. I gotta say though, that is a win for SK. Getting the shutdown on a 5-0 Alex is good gold for them, and they were very close. Slight misplay there by Ocelot getting caught in the turret. That's the kind of stuff they're gonna need to do more of if they want to crawl their way back in this game.
So going aggressive, trying to turn things around, not really working out that well. Darien back to top lane. While this was all happening, Kevin and Darien have been farming in this top lane. And actually, Kevin had made good headway against Darien. Certainly brought it back. You can see he's put a lot of damage down on that turret as well. So while Kevin's been out of the game for a while, when he starts getting into it, are we expecting, meanwhile down the bottom, there's a bit of a poke going on down the bottom there. You can see it's GoSuPepper taken down very low. He's going to come around. He still wants to try and land that hook. Genja coming back to win the day. Wow, one phosphorus bomb is going to wipe out that whole wave. He's looking forward to this. These are one of the moments when you're as an AD carry, you just go, raw, phosphorus bomb. His Fed is just going to last.
He's going to freeze it.
Yeah. It's just going to freeze the lane. Doesn't want to push it.
I would have been tempted. I'm going to be fair. I would have used a phosphorus bomb.
I would have gone Q. Because it's nice to see those big numbers just come up. She's like, yeah, I did
It's
that.
a smart play, though, because they knew 2 members are going back to the base, so they're going to deny an extra wave of experience, essentially, out of that.
Well,
now
the
Darien's going to jump on Kevin if he gets the chance.
The
No, he's
advantage
not.
they have, you know, you would think, okay, let's just shovel the lanes because we've clearly won all these lanes.
Even in the last game, though, they built up their advantage quite a lot before they decided to shove. There's something about just the way they're controlling these games that they don't want to seemingly fast push. They don't have the best wave clear or the fastest wave clear, but they're just winning fights. And it's a slow win in a lot of ways. Even going back to base, not overextending themselves, not giving SK any chance to really collapse in, because if SK wants to create something, they kind of just have to dive.
Ocelot taking more bomb damage there. He just can't lifesteal his way back. He can't trade with Alex Ich right now. He's definitely in trouble. 1-3-0, went for that haunting guys, but when you're up against a very strong Diamondprox, he's going to have to get away and use his ultimate to flash out of that one, actually. And just trying to avoid the damage. And then finally, Ocelot does go down in the middle. GoSuPepper coming back down there. Alex Ich has got the revive once again on and just pulls himself back into it. As
we're going to watch it
get
again.
a rewind. We get a replay on there, and he dives in and again tries to use it around. That's Nocturne avoiding the damage down the bottom there. So you can see it happen at the exact same time. Make sure he takes the damage too. He does get that revive through.
And that's level 12 to level 9 on Ocelot versus Alex. And that is just not going well whatsoever. Total control. Rod of Ages this time. A lot of times people have been going Athene's Unholy Grail. As we try to zoom up to live.
GoSuPepper's heading down there. We seem to have...
Something's going on.
Oh, okay, we're back. It's all good.
Ta-da.
Yeah.
All right.
It kind of was speeding up, and now they are going to come around the backside of Nif and Candy Panda. We'll try and find a moment to... Don't jump, don't do it. Because you can see coming down the bottom lane. They are going towards the top lane as well. They're going to dive on towards the top. They're diving on the bottom. Nif is going to get caught out here. Nif is the one to target the go for because he's managed to land the crescendo. He's going to get the shots.
He's got a bomb on each of them, actually.
Yeah, I've got a bomb. Oh, and Alex Ich takes that one down. And actually, Darien avoided the damage in the top lane as well. So very clever play. Now we speed things up, try and get back into live there. Piri tries to eloquently handle the camera. And there we go, back live.
Awesome.
Good job.
10-2, 7,000 gold. Now they're starting to take the turrets. They got the mid and the top down. Jax has got his Trinity Force. They got the Rod of Ages. They're really starting to hit their sweet spot. And they're just going straight in. They got the pink board in that brush. No Oracle's Elixir yet.
The ward still gets cheered.
They might look to fight this.
They almost certainly will look to face it. You can see actually Alex is taking a lot of damage there. Ocelot forced him away. Eats a bomb though. Diamondprox doesn't want to give this one up. You can see Alex Ich still lingering around the side as is GoSuPepper. Genja now joining the party. They're going to get a hook. They went for Nif. They get the power fist down. There's the phosphorus bomb. The big bomb comes through. Genja picks up the kill. And Alex Ich is trying to chase any advantage he can. Puts the bombs down on Ocelot. Ocelot turns it around. Manages to get the ultimate back down again there. He's going to come back alive. Aranea tries to crescent sweep him back into towards the turret, but it's not enough. And Aranea is going to pay the price with a bomb on his head. Oh, and GoSuPepper came around the back and got onto Ocelot. Power fist on towards Candy Panda. He's going to be able to escape it. He may even turn the damage back on towards GoSuPepper. He's got to be careful. And Alex Ich comes back. He doesn't really have the mana to deal with this one. They still haven't got the blue, by the way. GoSuPepper is going to have to back away from this one. A mana shield saves his day. And they do avoid the damage.
They picked up the blue amongst the chaos.
I didn't even see it.
GoSuPepper got it with a random proc of his ultimate or something. SK might try to just rush a Dragon down here because they know everyone's shopping. They have to do something because 28-19, 13-2, really just not having any luck against Alex. Every time Ocelot tries to go in for a kill, Zilean ult pops down, and then Ocelot dies. And it's just seemingly happening over and over again. There's an Aegis completed onto Diamondprox, so he's going to be diving even harder. They have the revives coming through. You can actually see Alex might be going towards a Guardian Angel, or he just picked up a Null Magic early just to have it, so they're not giving any chance of Ocelot getting a reset.
This is a very dead Candy Panda right here. There's Genja coming from below, as well as Gosu Pepper, and they're just driving him towards Darien. They're driving him towards Darien. Darien's getting Nif. Oh, he has to use Crescendo. Candy Panda goes down flat out to Nif. That's going to be one last shot. Oh, Genja tried to steal that one. Kill secure, I think you can say.
Popped the Ignite right before, so he didn't let the missile get through. And this is a stomp coming through by Moscow 5. Everything seems to be going their way.
I would not want to talk to SK Gaming after this game.
Not after this tournament. Like, this has been a very disappointing showing for them.
Where's
Here comes
going? He's diving in the mid. He's going on towards Aranea. And Gosu Pepper trundles in, chasing, tries to get the hook, lands the hook, gets the power fist down. Crescent Sweep tries to drive him away, but it's not enough. And you can see Ocelot comes around, actually interrupts it. Gosu Pepper with his ultimate. There goes Aranea. Now they're going to turn on towards Ocelot. Power fist will be back up in a minute. No! Expected Ocelot to get away. Doesn't matter. Diamondprox has the Wriggles. He'll just tank it on and just finishes him off. He's got an Aegis and a Wriggles, actually. Trinity Force now on Jax as well. Trinity Force on Genja. SK Gaming have everything to do. There's just no way out of this one for them.
32 to 22,000 gold across. And another big thing for SK right now is they don't have a tank line.
The flash engage. Alex H going for this. He doesn't have Arcane Shift. He can't get away from it. Has to use the flash. He turns back on towards Nif there. Alex H is just like, I want the bombs to kill me. I want to use my ultimate. And now, actually, Kevin comes back, uses the ultimate, but the rest of the team are driving in. Here comes Darien round the side. Another bomb goes down. Nif takes that one. And you can see everybody else just off the side. They are driving them back. They finally back off from this one. Alex H is in full command right now. 8-1-2. He's got that needlessly large rod. He's got that Rod of Ages and the Sorcerer's Boots. He's just feeling so confident with himself now right now. He's just thinking, I wish this was the game before. Darien might be in trouble. Darien does get a shutdown. That's a good shutdown for them. It picked up a big chunk of gold on Jax there.
A little bit of overconfidence there coming up from Moscow 5. I mean, we saw where Alex was playing the game.
Well, Genja's taking the bottom turret. There we go.
Blue Steel. And this is just Moscow 5 being incredibly far ahead. And one of the reasons they can do this, aside from being ahead 10,000 gold, is just SK's team comp in general just not having a tank line, especially when you pick Xin as your only beefy man and then he falls behind. It just becomes even harder and harder. It's one of the reasons you don't... Beefy man.
Beefy man?
That's a tank, is a beefy man right there.
Okay. It's a phrase I've not heard used in commentary, but we've got a beefy man
First
right
time
here.
for everything.
So next time you see SK, say, hey, are you a beefy man?
You need more beefy dudes in your team comps, clearly.
Oh, my word. Genja just off the side there trying to get a little poke on. But like you say, they haven't got anything to stop this.
And it's because you normally initiate with your tank, but it's just initiate with Ocelot into a Kayle ult or with Nif's Flash Crescendo, but none of these things are strong enough to follow through in any meaningful manner. You can see a bit of resiliency being bought by everyone on Moscow 5, and it's just no one can actually look to fight on SK because they will get obliterated.
And here they go. Oh! Full length grab on towards Nif there. Has to Crescendo, but honestly it's not enough. The ward's gone down.
There goes
Diamondprox diving on towards Nif. Turns it around, goes towards Ocelot. Ocelot's now the target. Ocelot gets dropped very quickly. Nif's still alive, but it doesn't matter. He's not a prime target. The bomb may even get taken towards him. Nearly flashed into it. The hook from Gosu Pepper. Landing them hook after hook. And there's the double kill for Genja. And that is Moscow 5 taking full chance here. And Gosu Pepper even survives it because there's the Zilean ultimate. And it was a 3-for-0 exchange. Are they going to turn towards Baron? You know, SK could just surrender here, to be honest, because it is over.
This is a lot of pain for SK. And you don't like to say a game is over, but this one looks like you can throw in the towel, especially once this Baron gets down. Barring some miracle, barring some ridiculous throw from Moscow 5, you know, barring disconnects, but, you know, well, we are on live. They can still pause because we're in custom games. I mean, Baron buff coming down 24 minutes, 13,000 gold advantage. Items across the board. No tanks on SK's team. Brilliant team comp by Moscow 5. Everyone, they have a Jax who is fed. He is scaling. Good performance by Moscow 5.
Danger, Will Robinson, I believe, is the phrase that should be used. And Ocelot is 171. He's just been shut down by Alex. Because
I mean,
like
but
you
look
say,
at the whole team. Like, you can say he's 1-7-1, but there's 0-6-2 in the jungle, 0-4-2 on the
well,
support
every time
side.
he's tried to get a kill, it's just been mitigated by that ultimate from Zillion. Alex has just been there every
And
time.
they picked Katarina into Zillion as well. They
Yeah.
intentionally said they were okay with that matchup, and it's something that happened in the qualifiers as well. Zillion beat up on Katarina in the qualifiers. I don't remember the exact teams, but that is not a good Katarina matchup because she relies on the reset, and Zillion lives to deny it, and it's just a matter of stubbornly picking in. I think they tried too hard to disrupt their playstyle.
And let's not forget, Ocelot's actually pretty damn good on Katarina. We saw him in the group stage. Ghostly Pepper just comes around, they immediately have to back off there. They can't fight the blue as the ward cheer still gets out there. It never gets old. That's going to be a thing for the rest of, League of Legends.
I think it gets old.
You think it gets old? It
I'm
does
just-
get old, yeah. Nevertheless, Alex does pick up the blue buff. They come around the side. Oh, Candy Panda's got to be careful here. There's the grab. Does get caught out and
Boom.
just dropped in a split second, a blink of an eye, and he goes down. Darian goes aggressive, balls deep, some might say, and he drives on there. Counter-strike on towards Kevin, but the rest of the team do back off. They pick up the turret, no problem, and they're just going to drive on towards the inhibitor now. Moscow 5 in full aggressive stance. There's nothing that can stop them going through this entire base right now. I don't think anything SK could do would be able to stop them. They are just going to drive it home.
And I kind of respect SK here not surrendering. It's the nature of the competitive game. It's a tournament game. I do like when teams end up playing it out, seeing if there's anything they can do. But this looks like an unstoppable force moving into their base. And they might just back off and clear the extra turrets because their creep line's a little short. Or they might just try to end it here. Let's see what happens. Another good pull.
They get the hook and it just drops him in a second. Crescendo goes across. They start boogieing on the dance floor, but it is not enough. And no Gangnam Style can prevent them from taking this turret. The Nexus will go down, and Moscow 5 will pick up 2-0. So it's 2-0 across the board, and it's going to be, oh no, they're going to try and turn it. One final fling maybe from SK Gaming, but it is a fling not worth living, and it is going to be Candy Panda picks up a kill on Darian, but Candy Panda will go down eventually. No, Alex tried to get the bomb on him, but I think he manages to survive. Gots on the fountain just quick enough. The Nexus gets a little bit more poking. Genja returns. He's going to take it down. Another hook on Nif. Nif goes down. The kills just keep on coming. It's 24-4. And Moscow 5 take third place in Tales of the Lane versus SK Gaming. There is Aranea, the beefy man.
Look at the shake
not strong
right
enough.
now.
The whole place is shaking because